Yo, what up, everybody? This is your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka G133. I want to welcome you guys back here to the channel, and today we'll be covering My Hero Academia Chapter 257. This is like the first time I've done an actual My Hero Academia manga review, but lately I've been covering My Hero Academia a lot. I've been talking about the video games, the show, the movie, and I decided let's start doing manga reviews. Like, why not? You know, we do Dragon Ball. You guys know I'm a huge My Hero Academia fan, so why not cover the manga as well? And I think I decided to pick a really important chapter to start covering the manga, alright? And we're talking about chapter 257, which is actually a pretty big chapter. You know, we have an actual time skip in this chapter as we see Class 1A move into year 2. It's actually pretty wild. So we're going to get into it. I'm not going to go into every single panel. I'm just going to give you guys the summary and basically my thoughts on that. Hopefully, so we don't get in any trouble with any of the companies in Japan. So remember, panels are going to be limited, but you guys understand what we're talking about. So basically, last chapter, at the end of the last chapter, we saw Deku and Kacchan. You know how All Might's training both of them. Basically, we see that they're looking over the quirks for One for All. And we know now that there's about 7 different quirks that Midoriya can get from One for all from the past successors. Alright, we know that he's using Black Wish, which is the air, basically the one that allows him to, travel in the air. Kind of like flying in a way, but not really. Alright? Or it's called Black Whip, not Black Wish. My bad. But Black Whip. You know, we learned a little bit about Black Whip. His real name was Dajidaro. I think that's how his name's pronounced. Dajidaro. That's what I'll call him. But basically, he was the last successor of One for All. Basically, the 5th successor. All right, and there's been 7 so far. Alright, we see Kacchan. Kacchan is so funny in this chapter. He doesn't like to waste time. He wants Deku and All Might to stop going through all the specifics and get to the details, because he says his time is being wasted around here. But Kacchan says he's looking through the notebook, and he says most of these guys don't have really strong quirks, which is kind of true. But the thing about it is that's crazy is every quirk that Deku gets from One for All becomes stronger down the line. Alright, so basically, even if, the people that use those quirks weren't that powerful, Deku using those quirks intensifies the power a lot more, which is actually pretty scary. Alright, these are not just, they're support quirks in a way, because its main quirk, of course, is One for All, but if he learns these support quirks, he's going to be already more OP than we already expect him to get, when we expect Deku to become the #1 hero. All Might agrees with Bako because these quirks are not super strong, but what One for All had a problem with was All for One. Back in the day, All for One would go around beating up the strong, just killing them instantly because he didn't like One for All. He was obsessed with it. And he would just go around to anybody that would defy his power. So he would basically strike everybody down. Basically, all these past, users of One for all died quick deaths. They didn't live very long, other than All Might, because All for One would strike them down. Basically their job was basically to, if they got One for All, their job was to pass it out to the next successor. That was the main thing. All right, and you guys can see here all these past successors of One for All, how they all died unfortunate deaths, mostly at the hand of All for One. All right, but then Kacchan wants to know what's the next quirk this guy's gonna learn. Alright? He's like, enough of all this. He wants to know what's next for Deku. He already has One for All. He has now Black Wish. And what's the next quirk he's probably gonna get? Well, the next quirk is Float. It has similarities to Uraka's Gravity quirk, but it's not as similar. But we see All Might's master, Nana Shimura. Alright? And we all know, she's the great grandmother of Shigaraki. and we see how how Deku reacts to this. He's like, "Oh gosh, I'm gonna learn All Might's Master's Quirk next." But then there's a very funny scene here where we see Kajan saying, "Ha ha ha, that's the quirk you're gonna get next. I can already go airborne with my blast." So basically, Kajan's bragging like, "I can already fly in midair just by using my quirk, and there's no way you're gonna catch up to me with that quirk." So basically, it's like that rivalry that Deku and Kajan have. You know, they're no longer hate each other, but they're rivals. They want to beat each other and be the best. And I absolutely love this interaction. You can also see it makes All Might very, very happy to see Deku and Kacchan going on with their little friendly banter. So then we go back to the dorms. Class 1A, they're preparing dinner, and it seems like, you know, they're making meat. And Zero says something. Seriously, the house arrest kids are late again. I love how he's always mentioning how they both are on house arrest. But um, he says if you guys don't help, don't plan to eat the food with us. Gotcha says, really, go ahead, try keeping the meat for me. See what happens for it to you. And everyone's like, oh yeah, cause they know how overpowered Kacchan is. But Kacchan does come out and help. He starts criticizing Todoroki and some of the others for the food that they're making. You know, Kacchan, man, the guy knows how to take care of himself. You know, and Deku's also helping as well. So we see Class 1A over here. They're having a little meal together. And you see they're all talking about how they're about to become second years, which is crazy. 257 chapters, and finally, Class 1A is getting ready to finish their second term at UA and enter year 2 of high school, because I believe it's 3 years. UA High does. It's not 4 years like we do over here in the States, but we see they're talking about how they're really excited to become year 2s, but then, you know, Ida, he's like, we must focus. We still have 3 months remaining in our first year, and we still got to focus on final exams and everything else coming up. So while everybody's talking, everyone's eating, we look over to Deku, and Deku's sitting down, and he's basically reflecting a little bit. He's reflecting on how he's at UA High. He has One for All. How All Might is his teacher, his favorite hero, the guy he admired, is actually teaching him how to become a hero. And how he's actually has a relationship with Kacchan. They're not best friends or anything, but at least they're, you know, friendly rivals now, trying to push each other to become stronger. You know, it's gonna be interesting to see will Kacchan ever, you know, cool down that attitude of his. But we see Deku's so busy reflecting till he zones out and he forgets Tokoyami's asking for some sauce for his food. Pretty funny thing over there. Then we pan over the outside the class. We see All Might. It's cold. It's winter. He's just sitting out, just, you know, reflecting. Also, just like Deku. Then we see Ozawa. He joins him outside and he's asking what's going on. And we found out that Ozawa and All Might are planning to help Eri train her quirk. She's about 7 years old, I believe now. And we found out a couple chapters ago that her horn was starting to bother her more and more because she's not using her quirk. You know, it's getting longer, and she doesn't know how to control it. Remember that her horn shrank after the battle with Overhaul all those chapters ago? Well, her horn is becoming larger and larger again, and now, you know, she's starting to feel like she can't control it. So now, Ozawa and All Might decide we have to start having her learn how to use her quirk, not because she's going to join UA High and become a student, she's way too young, but because maybe not only could it be a, you know, benefit in potential, you know, I'm not saying battles, but it could help them in certain situations, and because they don't want her going out and doing something that could harm anybody, because we know if she doesn't control her quirk, she can rewind something way too far and it actually destroy them. Alright, and we all know one of the goals they want to do is hopefully use Aries' quirk on Togata so he can rewind and get access back to his quirk. Alright, but we see All Might, he's kind of a little bit down because he feels like how now he no longer has One for All. He feels a little bit useless, alright, and how he wants to continue living because, you know, we're getting close to where Sir Night said All Might was supposed to pass away, how he was supposed to be brutally murdered, you know. Yeah, All Might's just thinking about all this, but then Ozawa gives him motivation to continue going. All right, you were the #1 hero for many, many years. All right, and you just lost your power a couple months ago. It's gonna take a long time for you to recover and actually be able to move on from that. But the best thing you can do is help all the students here become the best heroes they can be. So Ozawa giving the motivation. Love it. And then we see a scene of Sir Night-Eye, on his deathbed. And basically, All Might has that motivation. Also, we find out that Ozawa wants to tell him, you guys remember, the hero killer slain. And they didn't show this in the anime, but in the manga, the hero killer slain is actually in the same prison that One For All and some of these other villains are in. But Ozawa says he wants you to delay your meeting with Stain. So either way, eventually, somewhere down the line, we're gonna get that meeting between All Might and Stain, which I would love to see. All right, and then to end the chapter, all right, we get a time skip to March. So about 2-3 months later, all right, we go to March. You can see the trees are starting to blossom with flowers again, and that means we are entering springtime, which means Class 1A is about to enter their second year if they haven't already started their second year of high school. And then we see the doctor, and everyone knows whenever that doctor appears on screen, it can't be something good. The last time we saw him, he was absolutely, torturing Shigaraki through that operation. Remember, Shigaraki's going through that 4-month operation to get super strong. So basically, I don't know if it's been 4 months at this point, but it has to be close, if not already complete. So that means Shigaraki's operation is almost finished, and that means it's about to go down. Alright, it's about to go down. Shigaraki, remember, he's been teased to be this ultra villain since the beginning of the series. So whatever powers he now has, if the operation was successful, it's gonna take a lot to actually beat him. Alright, but it says here at the end, that day heroes vanished from the city, which is absolutely crazy. So what, did somebody wipe out all the heroes? Probably not. I don't think that at all, but maybe something happened that caused all the heroes to not be in the city. Something big's happening, alright? And we're going to get the next chapter, I believe, January 26th, just next week. So I'll be back here just next week to cover that, and we'll find out what's going on with Class 1A in their second year, and what happened with the heroes, what happened with Shigaraki, what's happened the last couple months. Because we did have a time skip. Was there no major battles during that? We'll have to all find that out. And next week, basically, we didn't have a chapter for close to a month, but now we're getting back to mostly weekly chapters, so I'm excited about that, and you guys should be excited about that as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Alright, if you guys enjoyed these My Hero Academia reviews, make sure to like this video, comment, subscribe. I'm going to continue to try to give you them every single week. Alright, make sure to follow me on social media. The links are in the description down below. Have a great day, guys. Peace!